Good morning, I'm Chris from Bankbug and you join me on the banks of Abbey lakes in France. I'm here to pit my wits against some of the best looking carp in Europe and I've got 1 week to do it. There is a catch. The challenge from the guys in the office is for me to fish one swim for the entire duration of my stay. So without further ado, it's time for me to have a wander around the lakes on the complex to make a decision on where I want to fish. Okay, I've had a good walk round and decided on a swim I know quite well, and I've had a reasonable amount of success in the past. I've opted for Peg 13 on Fox Lake. It's a swim where you can get up close and personal using stalking tactics if the carp decide to get in the left-hand bay, which on warm days like today is likely where they can be found. Not only this, the weather forecast for the next few days is very warm. It's also one of the most shaded swims in the lake. As you can see behind me, base camp is all set up and ready to go. Just one thing to do now, and that's get the rods out. It's now 8 o'clock in the evening and I must say I'm absolutely shattered. I set off this morning at 2 o'clock. It's been really hot here today, and with setting up, walking around, getting everything organised, it's been really draining. So, in good old carp fishing fashion, I've had a bit of light refreshment in the form of a cold one from the cool box, spoken to the loved ones who are currently sunning themselves in Crete on a holiday, and now I think it's time for some rest. Let's just hope I am rudely awoken in the middle of the night. Cheers. Morning number 2. Nothing to report from last night other than myself getting 12 hours sleep, which is very much needed, especially after that long journey and getting everything set up. Changed the rods today. I walked over to the far margin this morning and found about 10-15 carp milling around no more than 10 yards off the bank in about 8 feet of water underneath a tree. So I've put a marker in the tree, a bit of orange tape. I'm going to tie myself up a really nice PVA bag, get it in the bait boat and drop it underneath that tree. Hopefully that'll grab me a bite. The lads up in Peg 12 next door to me, they had a pretty quiet night last night, no runs, so it's pretty quiet everywhere. Wish me luck. Let's see what today brings. It may look like I'm waiting for a bus, but I can assure you I'm not. In a few moments, around that corner, is going to come something I enjoy every afternoon when I'm fishing at Abbey Lakes. It's the Abbey ice cream van. We've fast forwarded a bit. It's now morning number 3 and I'm sitting here on my hands. If I was in any other situation I would have moved by now. Nothing from underneath the tree with the PVA bag yesterday. I thought I might have nicked a bite under there, but unfortunately not. I have been keeping a steady flow of bait going out to a spot around 80 yards. It's a spot I've caught fish from before, probably between 4-5 kilos every 4 or 5 hours. The reason I do this is I class it as pre-baiting. The carp get more confident feeding on that spot throughout the week, and hopefully at the back end of the week or before that they get so confident in feeding there they slip up. It's a tactic I've used on fox before, and I've really reaped the rewards at the end of my holiday. Right, I'm in need of some breakfast and a coffee. I'll update you this evening, hopefully with some better news. Update time. It's now 8 o'clock on Monday evening. I've been fishing for just over 48 hours and I'm yet to catch a carp. It's getting frustrating. However, I am quietly confident about the baited spot at 80 yards. I've continued to take the bait out there on the bait boat, and when there's a flat calm I've noticed a considerable amount of bubbles on the surface, which is definitely feeding carp. They just haven't found my hook bait yet. There is still quite a bit of bait out there, so I'm going to tip my hook bait off with a large piece of yellow Enterprise corn soaked in beetling. This will not only give me added attraction, it will make my hook bait stand out from the freebies that are on the deck. Well, I'm not going to opt for one of these tonight. I'm going to go for 2, because at the moment it's the only thing that's keeping me sane. So I'll update you in the morning. Fingers crossed those fish that are having a nibble on that spot at 80 yards will find my hook bait. Particles, well, what can I say? I've been using particles in my fishing for well over 25 years. I was introduced to carp particles by a close friend, and since my first order I can honestly say I've never looked back. My run rate on mortars has gone up considerably, and after applying particles from these guys it seems to pick out the bigger fish. One of my highlights is a brace of fish weighing 96 pounds caught over a large bed of their oily hemp. Having a unique selling point when you start any new business is a massive edge, and these lads have it. All their particles are prepared in rainwater with 0 chemicals or preservatives. In my eyes, I think you'd find it hard to beat. Tuesday morning, you're never going to believe this. We've only gone and banked one. Although not a monster, it's so welcome, and it's a start. We can start building from this now, hopefully. Some people say that the first fish is always the hardest, and I'm beginning to believe them. So rather than me ramble on in front of a video camera, let's take a look at the fish and savour the moment. It's 7:30 in the morning, and one's just finally graced our net. Not a big one by fox standards by any means, but a short dumpy mirror. She's a bit lively because she's been in the retainer sling while I just had 10 minutes getting the camera gear ready, but We'll see if we can show it to you. First one off fox. It's been a long time coming. Caught off the long spot at around 80 yards over a big bed of carp particles, oily hemp, so that's doing the business. Let's hope there's some more where this little one come from. Haven't bothered weighing her, but very welcome all the same. Lovely. Okay, after that fish this morning, it seems like the tipped hook bait was enough to get me a bite, so I'll be sticking with that on the area and applying the bait. Nothing to report on the other two rods. After chatting to a few other anglers on the lake, it seems there's a bite time window forming, late night heading into the early hours of the morning. It's 7:30 in the evening, so try and capitalise on this feeding spell. I've run out 10 kilos of oily hemp in the hope that this will keep them in the area for the duration of them having a munch. Is it beer o'clock again? Result. Our line sights are a great, unique little product. One night I was fishing up against snags and I managed to get myself a take. How many times I fumbled around with a head torch, for the life of me couldn't see where my line entered the water, and it was really frustrating. This is where the idea came from. Once you've casted, simply attach a sight and that's about it. Pick up your rod when you get a take and the line sight will make its descent down the line until it reaches the surface and it will stop because it's buoyant. It will follow the line because the line passes through the centre core, enabling you to see your line entry really easily with a head torch. They're also brilliant for playing fish under the rod tip when netting that carp of a lifetime. Good morning. There was some more action last night, which was good. I wasn't far off with the timings either. I've got an absolute one tone around 11:30 from the area which has seen a steady flow of bait all week. In the final moments of the battle, I did manage to get a glimpse of it in the head torch. It was definitely a mirror and it looked quite big. Unfortunately, when I came to net it, the hook pulled. Well, all is not lost. I got the rod back out and at 5:30 it was off again, resulting in a 30-pound mirror. I'll show you that in a moment. I've decided to put 20 kilos of hemp out this morning on the productive spot and pull all the lines in. I think this may result in more runs tonight. I may be wrong. Okay, a few bits to do up the clubhouse. I'll be back later with an evening update. So here we have it, second fish of the session. I also lost a big mirror in the night, right at the net. It did feel like a big fish, but this one came along 5:30 in the morning off the baited spot again, 80 yards, so that seems to be doing the business now, and fingers crossed will be some more off that patch today and tonight. So great, really pleased with this one. Right, Wednesday evening, I'm a tad excited about tonight. I've rested the swim best part of the day after putting more hemp out. I returned around 4 o'clock this afternoon and was greeted by a huge amount of bubbles and fizzing and the odd leaping carp, which has given me great confidence going into night 5. One thing I haven't touched base on in regards to baiting, whenever I do put a bait boat out full of hemp, I always put 10 pre-made PVA sticks in with it as well. Exactly the same ones I put on my hook when getting the rods out. This not only adds a visual presence to the spot, I'm trying to get the carp to home in on these small mouthfuls of food, and eat them without caution, making it easier for them to slip up when my bait is attached to one of them. Right, I better get my finger out. I'm not going to catch anything with nothing on that setup behind me. So night 5, here we come. Bank Bug launched 2 new products at Carbon on 2015, our line sights and the Rocksteady backrest system. The RS system was originally an idea given to me by our very own Daniel Winter. When I looked at it in depth and the simplicity of the concept, it really grabbed me. I was forever searching tackle shops for backrests that ticked all the boxes. What I was actually looking for was now sitting on my desk as a drawing. We had it moulded in the UK by a company local to Bank Bug HQ, along with the line sights in the same piece of steel. After field testing, we finally got the finished products in January 2015. Manufacturing our own products was the only way to take Bank Bug to the next level. We're still very much in our infancy, but these 2 products are something we're all extremely proud of. It's always a gamble making new products. You invest money, time and a load of effort in the hope that anglers like what you've produced. We never in our wildest dreams ever thought that we had made one of the fastest selling carp products for 2015. Here's John Kneebone from Carpology to give you a full rundown on the Rocksteady backrest system.
Okay, we come out today to take a look at a new product from Bank Bug, and that's the Rocksteady backrest system. And there's a couple of things I really like about this system. Firstly, it's really easy to use, really easy to fit to your rods, and most of all, it does a really good job about what it's trying to achieve, which essentially is preventing your rods from leaving the rest and locking them securely in place. So here they are, I've fitted these to my rods, and basically in the kit you've got a small T-peg shaped spigot and an O-ring rubber band that secures like that spigot into place anywhere you like along the butt of your rod. Now in the set you get 2 sizes of O-ring, which allows you to fit these to any size rod whatsoever. Duplon, I've fitted them here to cork handle, abbreviated handles, like I say, they'll fit to any of them, and you can fit them anywhere you like down the whole length of the butt section. Now there's 2 parts to this. The second part is this cup section that you simply screw into your bank stick or your buzzer bar, and then the 2 just simply fit together like that. And as you can see, I'm actually rocking the bank sticks there because that's absolutely rock solid. Obviously these are great for snag fishing situations and anywhere where you're locked up and you just can't afford for that rod to move at all. But they're suitable for any type of fishing. You might be fishing down the margins and you get a strong take bending the rod around. Yep, if the rod happens to leave your buzzer like that, that's still not going anywhere. You've still not got that worry that your rod might go flying out into the lake. And when the time comes that you do get the take that you're looking forward to, it's just a simple case of lifting your rod, it leaves the system and you're into your fish. So that's the Rocksteady backrest system. You can buy them in the shop singly for a price of $9.99, or you can buy a pack of 3 for $29.99.
Oh, is it away? Is that rod going to go? It is definitely going to go. It's off, it's off. Okay, so I was in the middle of filming and this rod's gone off. I'm going to leave the camera rolling, although you can't see me. I'm going to try and get while playing the fish, I'm going to try and turn the camera around. Dokey. Right. The fish is still on. I'm just going to try and adjust this leg. A minute. It's probably going to be easier to lower this leg. This is really difficult with a fish on. I've got to get in my waders yet. Mind you, I've waited for this moment for quite a while. So let's ease that down. Okay, that's the camera set. Okay. Come on, waders, be kind to me. Oh, we had torches in here for the night. Oh, whoops. Right. Watch the mic as I'm doing this. So I'm trying to get into my waders. I've got to watch the microphone that's strapped in to my pocket. Okay. I can't believe this fish is still on. Must be well hooked. Right, waders on. Let's grab the net. Chuck that down there for now and concentrate on getting this fish in. It's not that far out now, to be fair. It's probably me when I walk back with the rod to get the waders on. Oh, and just my luck, it's a tench. Can you believe that? Here he comes. And he's in the net. I'm not gonna get this one out and film it. I'm gonna ease back, unhook it, and then put him straight back. Okay, let's put that rod down there. Right. Had the cheek to nick my lead and all. Let's walk him back as he's a little bit deeper water. Christ, he's nailed. Right, let's chuck that back. Oh, whoops. I could have done with a carp really, but I've been waiting to get that film in that situation since I've been here. But if it wasn't meant to be, it wasn't meant to be. But a nice doctor fish all the same. Don't know if you can see that from up there, but what a little cracker. Right, let's put him back. Fight another day. There you go, splash me as well. Can't believe that. Well, we've fast forwarded once again. It's now Friday morning and it's my last day and night. Yesterday temperatures here reached 38 degrees and it was absolutely stifling. It was horrible. I needed a break from filming as well. It's really hard doing this on my own with cameras, lighting and microphones, etc. Let's rewind to where I left off on Wednesday evening. I decided to fish just the 2 rods on the baited area. Since I've been here, I haven't had a touch from the far margin spot, which in all truth in the past has produced quite a few fish for me. I thought an extra line in the water at night, just doing nothing, wasn't really worth it. At 11:30 at night I had a slow bite on the left hand rod. The night light was rising and when I reached the rod it stopped. It's one of those moments, you know, do you strike it or not? I hit it and the fish was on. I thought it was a lot bigger when I was playing the fish, but it resulted in a cracking 41 pound 2 ounce mirror. I kind of knew it was only a matter of time before the bigger fish made an appearance. So, fish number 3, bang on cue, 11:30 at night, 41 pound 2 ounce. This is what we come to Abbey for. What an absolute stunner. Give me a really good battle this one as well, like the last one. Really are fighting fit, these fish. So we're going to get him straight back, and hopefully some bigger ones are going to come along. Wicked. Great stuff. The second fish was not far behind in the shape of an 18 pound 5 ounce common. Commons are quite rare in this particular lake, so this was a real bonus fish for me, irrelevant of size. Even though it was small, it still gave a good account of itself. I didn't bother filming it as I wanted to save some battery in the camera. The final fish came as the sun was coming up, and I must say this is my favourite fish of the session so far. A lovely coloured 33 pound near fully scaled mirror. This is the stamp of fish you can find in all the lakes on the Abbey complex, and that's what brings us anglers back time and time again. And what about this one? Fish number 5. Definitely the pick of the bunch in terms of looks, this one so far. What an absolute peach. Gonna take a couple of stills and then get her back. Awesome. Back to yesterday, I applied more bait in the morning along with some sticks and tried to catch up on some sleep in between filming, and that was a complete and utter disaster. Even with the rear vents open on the bivvy, the bivvy was still like an oven, so that was a no-no. I opted for a nice cold shower early evening and returned to swim around 7 o'clock. I continued with just the 2 rods directly onto the spot as I did the previous night. It seemed to work all right, so I stuck with that. At 12:30 in the morning, the right hand rod burst into life, and after another epic battle in the waders, I managed to slip the net under a 33 pound mirror. Other than that, it was a relatively quiet night, which did allow me to catch up on some much needed rest. It's my last 24 hours, all 3 rods are out, the carp are still in and around the baited area. Oily slicks keep appearing on the surface, which continues to give me confidence. So I have the normal 2 rods on that spot, and the 3rd rod I've opted for a PVA bag to the far margin in the last bid to hook one of them from over there. The wind is howling into the bay today, so hopefully that should push a few fish in. Last chance saloon, I have my fingers crossed. Let's show you that mirror from last night. Okay, it's 12:30 in the morning. This one's just ripped off on the right hand rod. I've decided to leave that rod in now. I've got another one on the spot, so rather than disturb anything that may be out there having a munch, I'll leave it in. Okay, gonna get this one back. I wasn't going to do anything on rigs in this film, but I thought some of you might be interested in what I'm using. I've got a short piece of tungsten tubing here, making sure that this 12-foot leader is pinned to the bottom when it hits the deck. I've got a simple safety clip with a 3 ounce gripper lead, anti-tangle sleeve. This stiff section forms the stiff part of the combi rig, which is 20 pound, called a mouth trap, weighted in the centre by a Fox clip-on weight. This ensures that this part of the rig is pinned down nicely. It's been crimped at the end with a small loop, and the softer part of the rig is Solar unleaded 15 pound, which is really supple and also quite heavy. This loop on the end allows me to change this section whenever I need to. It just unloops, push the hook through the loop, and it'll untie itself, and obviously I can put a new one on when needed. meaning I can change the hook really quickly, lengthen this, shorten it, whichever suits. It's tied simply KD style to a size 4 hook. I've tied some PVA tape on the shank of the hook, trapping the first part of the KD rig, because sometimes when you cast it, this bait has a tendency to wrap around the hook, especially if you're using a big hook, and if it hits the bottom like that, the rig is ineffective, you're not fishing it right. Finished off by just a simple stick. I double PVA these. I'm fishing in near on 16 feet of water, so I want to make sure that doesn't explode before it gets to the bottom and fall away from where I'm actually fishing. So that is simply hooked on, making sure that all drops nicely and hits the deck all in one hit. So that's what I'm using. It's a rig I use quite often, especially at Abbey. So yeah, give it a go. There we go. Came from the pre-baited spot, where I've been baiting all week in the hope that this one would finally come along, and it's come along in style. Over the moon. What an absolute cracker. I said to myself, it would take a special kind of fish to dedicate to my dad, who passed away recently, but I think this one's it. It's a monumental fish, and this one I dedicate to my dad.